Good morning, happy Monday. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys because it's important to keep it real. I feel like a bit of a grump today. I even went and did my Pilates at like 8 a.m. and I finished and I was like, I still feel like a grump. And that's usually one of the ways of like getting me out of a bit of a grump. But I think it's important to be honest because I think I'm very positive on here a lot of the time. And I am in general like a very positive person. But yeah, you know, when you just wake up and you're just like, I just don't feel like it today. On days like today, I don't know if I've ever spoken about this before, but I have a list in my notes app called my non-negotiables. And whenever I'm in like a little bit of a funk or whatever, I come back to it and I have to do like at least 3 of them. And it's something that like some people might find like frivolous or like trivial. It's like making sure I've got my nails done. Haven't got my nails done at the moment. Like the grow out is crazy. It's fresh pillow sheets. It's getting outside in the fresh air, not listening to anything and going for a walk. I did that. It's doing some movement, Pilates. I did that. So it's just about like looking after yourself a little bit and just being kind and gracious to yourself. And then you don't always have to push through, but like today I've got work to do this afternoon. It's like, you've also got to do the things, you know, like do the things on the days you don't want to do it because then it makes it so much easier in the long run. But this has really made my day. I wanted to come on and show this. One of my New Year's resolutions, for the last few years I've been so busy that I've been so bad with people's birthdays and so bad with gifting, but I love finding gifts for people. And when I've got the time to like order in advance and be thoughtful about it and think about it, I think I'm a really good gift giver. I'm a very good card giver. I'm obsessed with cards. But I can show you this because by the time this comes out, I would have given it to her. I saw this brand online and they make these absolutely beautiful ceramic matchboxes, and I get that might sound like, why the hell do you need that? Like they're just matches, but it's such a beautiful keepsake that actually serves a purpose, and they're honestly stunning. Like the designs are stunning, and so I bought. They're not cheap. It's a really really sort of special present, but it's one of my really good friends' birthdays on this week, and amongst sort of some other things candle related, I bought her this, and I can't even open it because I didn't ask for it gift wrapped, but it's come in the most beautiful, I'm gonna cancel my face tracking, the most beautiful gift wrapping. Like, I'm completely obsessed, and this is the pattern that's on the front of it. So they've got loads of different patterns, but I just found, I really wanted one for myself if I'm honest, but I thought it's a perfect gift. And they wrote a handmade note and it said, "Dear Grace, I hope you adore the star, love, Joe." And the brand is called Joe Lang, if anyone's interested. On that note, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on here before. If anyone from Meta is listening, you know how all your platforms are connected? I think a really good idea for WhatsApp would be to pull the birthdays, because you have all the data from Facebook. You choose when you add them to your contacts if you want to be notified or not. You don't want to be notified by every one of your WhatsApp contacts. You choose for whoever the contacts are that you want to be notified for. You get a notification, whether it's 7 days before, 24 hours before, on the day of people's birthdays. You just get a pop-up notification. Maybe the chat comes to the top and it's like just to you, and it just says it's X's birthday today, and then you send them a message. Because back in the day we used to have Facebook, right? And it would come up with a notification saying it's someone's birthday, but we're all on WhatsApp now. Like, a lot of people aren't on Facebook every day, or they don't use it at all. We're on WhatsApp every single day. Build that function into the platform, and then you're just creating like this world within the platform. I think it would be really a smart idea. And it's all within the capabilities. That's also what I think. Like, it feels like, I'm no CTO, but it feels like an easy win. The other thing I always do when I'm feeling in a little bit of a grump is just make sure of like, do the basics that you can control. So like, just start really small, like shower, skincare, hair. Just make sure like things you can control within your control. And then gratitudes, like saying gratitudes out loud. Like I send a message into my group chat just being like, okay, 3 gratitudes, everyone share them, just like to push the gratitude in. And just saying like 3 things you're grateful for out loud really, really does like help try and change the mindset or control it. And this is all within my control. So yeah, we spent the weekend in about 7 different tile shops. So I'm a bit decision fatigued out. I think that's what this is. And the house is like going at 300 miles an hour because we're sort of maybe even like 6 weeks out now. But this episode this week, it's going to be a very real episode, like very raw, very real thoughts, feelings about everything. House, brand building. I've got loads of calls this afternoon. I've got loads of meetings this week. I really want to show you how I'm focusing on like leveling up my speaking game this year. That's kind of coming later in the week. just trying to do a lot more forward planning. So like really understanding how I'm going to level up, because obviously I told you one of my goals is to speak in the US. So that doesn't just happen from posting content. Like content is obviously one of the ways to achieve that signal, what we spoke about in the video 2 videos ago. But I also have to get really intentional about getting in front of the right people in the right rooms. And a lot of that happens in real life. Okay, I'm going to sit down and start doing some strategy work for community service, and then I'll jump on some calls with you shortly. It's 5 to 2, about to have my first call, so I thought we'd just jump on. Also, like, the best way to get out of a slump is also just to, like, dive into something else and, like, forget about it. So, like, I just wrote out a to-do list, and I've just been working through it, like, very methodically. And I think that gives you a sense of momentum, and then it just, like, builds. But the call I've got now, you might remember from when I did the Dream and Run talk, the Simon Squibb Run Club. I met a founder there who said that they are building a drink. Well, they've built a drink, but they have no brand and they have no audience. And would I want to come on as a co-founder? And I was like, oh, like that's so crazy, because in a podcast episode, I spoke about this idea of 3 p.m.
If I could do anything, and I will record this back in 30 years' time when I've done it and been super successful, I have a real thing for... So in our office, like I've worked in an office for the last 5 years every single day. It hits 3 p.m. and every single girl gets a can of Coke, a can of Diet Coke. Do you know how much shit is in a Diet Coke? That's terrible. Like I mean, I fucking love a Diet Coke, but like... Or whatever it is. Yeah, it's just like, have you seen all those videos? It's like literal sugar. Yeah. But we are a place who like encourages health, and we encourage like, we're drinking electrolytes, and then we're drinking Diet Coke at 3 p.m. And there's this like whole culture around... And I'm not going to try and take on Coca-Cola Company, like, let's be honest. But I wish, like, I really would love there to be, like, an alternative which feels just as cool, which tastes delicious, which is just as addictive, has the caffeine hit, but isn't full of so much crap, like, so much chemicals. And I just think, like, we are also health conscious, yet a Diet Coke just, like, slips by.
So 3 o'clock every day, you post videos of you drinking our new can.
Exactly.
Okay. Every day.
When I started thinking about it, I was like, it'll be called 3 p.m.
And they were like, yeah, that's what we saw. And we heard you speak and thought, you have to come and build this with us. Like, we are building exactly what you were saying and what you were talking about. And we just haven't been able to speak. Like, we just have been away, or like things haven't been working. And so we're just going to have a quick call now. They sent me an amazing deck over. And I know they watch these vlogs, so you sent an amazing deck over, which was very tailored and very personalised, and explained exactly like their mission and how they want to work together and that sort of thing. I know some of you are screaming right now, focus, lack of focus, etc. I don't want to say no to existing conversations that have already happened. I want to still give people the time of day, and even if it's not the right fit for me right now, like at least be able to have that conversation. I think that's fair. And I've always said this is a little bit of a side thing that I've always been like really interested in, like creating a drink that, or like being part of the creation of a drink that actually contributes to better functioning, focus, metabolic, etc. at 3 p.m. So we'll have a chat. We'll chat for 30 minutes. I just want to like get a sense of who they are, what they want, and where they want to take this. I'm just gonna have that call now, and then we go straight into a inquiry call for Launchpad, and then after that I've got a call with another founder, so I'm sure I'll be super energized by the end of all these calls, because I'm just speaking with businesses and founders. Hi.
Hiya. How are you? You alright?
Hi, nice to meet you. I mean, my initial thoughts are that I always like to just like continue, like have conversations with people, meet the founders, like understand people. Yeah. There are lots of different ways that I currently work with brands. I intend to work with brands, whether it's like, you know, in different capacities. I'm basically figuring out like how I spend my time going forward. So I'm very much like, if things make sense and align, like keep having the conversation until something makes sense. Distribution is the moat right now, right? So you've got to be able to find the channels to distribute through. And I mean, my ethos with paid versus organic is that you want to build a trusted organic brand before you start to introduce like meta ads, unless you're using it for testing. So I would always be looking to go down like the organic route first. There would probably quite quickly need to be some hard, like people who are responsible for the brand once like the strategy is put in place, like the content creation, the output, the development of that, which is, yeah, of course, that's the sort of thing I do with brands all the time, but I guess it would vary depending on involvement. It's a really fun call out to go, oh, you think all these drinks you're drinking are healthy? Like, have you looked at the sugar count? Like, you can do some really fun things if you are genuinely positioned to be the alternative. Just have a think about everything we've discussed and probably come back with some more questions, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's keep the conversation going. That's all we can ask.
Okay, I am now late for my next call, so let's jump straight onto that. This is a Launchpad client inquiry call.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Grace.
Hello. So discovered you guys follow Grace on social media and been following your journey. So congratulations on starting off on your own. And then this came up and I thought this could be really, really relevant for the company that I'm with at the moment. And something that we've never really landed is getting our team to post on LinkedIn in a way that really works for us, but we see our competitors doing this really, really well. And I think it's something that we could definitely do more of, and particularly with our founder.
I think to everything you basically said there is sort of what we're aiming to create within companies. Like, we really want to work with businesses and brands who understand the potential and power of both their employees and the founder. And I think obviously we've labeled the program as employees, but it very much involves anyone who wants to get involved from inside the business, whether you're like the CMO, the founder, the CEO, the grad scheme, the intern. It really does cover all bases because we tailor the program to the people, to the company. So I think, I'm so passionate about branding from every angle of the person who's just joined the company versus the person who founded it. So there's different skills to teach, there's different insights and understanding, and we hear so often about people like your founder who are incredible people who understand that there's potential there, but they're it's not for me, I don't need to be that person. And I think that's why Launchpad is quite different, because we don't really come along and just be right, you've got to get on camera, we're going to do camera training skills. It's about understanding, really, really getting to understand your why and your story and how that can propel the business. It's really fascinating to see the sort of before and after of someone like your founder who's no, absolutely, that's not for me. And then you dig into their story a bit, you give them the sort of skills and the understanding, and you bring in the case studies and you really dive into who they are and the business, and then once it makes sense to them, once they go, oh, okay, I understand this, then it completely changes their mindset on things like this, because it's not about me. It's not get me in front of the camera. This is all about me. It's about how the two things align really nicely. And I love working with those sort of people because I love seeing the before and after. Okay, 2 out of 3 calls done. I did just get a delivery that I want to open. I will say, little tip, if you are doing lots of calls, context switching, if you're in the same environment and your context shifting, sometimes it can be really hard to differentiate because all of them kind of can blur into one. Honestly, taking notes physically with a pen and paper during a call makes things stick so much more. And actually blocking out time to process, summarize, and follow up on the call is something I never used to do. I know it sounds so obvious, but just giving yourself the time to just write a little note about the call to remind you about obviously we've got, oh my god, why is this opening? Obviously we've got, safety locked it too hard. Obviously we've got AI summaries and things like that, but how often do you actually read them? This, I got targeted by paid ads and I bought off the paid ads. Some of this, oh my god, it's a big parcel. It's called Holy Cacao, and this is the calm edition, but it's bone broth and cacao and ashwagandha and reishi mushroom and maca and Celtic salt, always grass-fed, always organic. Basically, it's bone broth enriched with cacao, so you can't taste the bone broth as much, and it's meant to be a really, really good drink to have before bed. It's so nutrient dense, but also helps you sleep. And I've been living for magnesium, so I'm going to try and incorporate this into my evening routine as well. I'm a sucker for a drink that does everything for you. Right, I've got one last call now. Then I'm going to go outside, get some fresh air, come back in and do some more work. Hey, how's it going? I support mostly creator-led brands, but I work with brands in different capacities. I'm ex-brand director of Diary of a CEO, grew the team and the brand to, I guess, what it is today, and then stepped away because I grow my own profiles and given myself the freedom and opportunity to go and choose something else. So that's kind of my story. My big vision and my big focus is probably building something that supports female creators going forward. I think the opportunity within obviously the scaling creator economy, but the lack of support and investment into female founded businesses poses like this massive, vast gap that needs to be solved for. So I think probably my big vision is to build some sort of fund or accelerator that supports female creators.
The retail side of things is like, or the distribution is like the toughest part. And that's like probably like what I'm trying to learn the most is like, one, how do you get into retailer? And then it's like also like getting into like international markets with like different packaging and like all those requirements. It's been a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
How are you right now just website D2C?
Right now, yes, but we're also on health.
Yeah.
GAL. Like, yeah, we're on those guys.
And do you do any social selling? Like, are you on any of the social shops, like Instagram, TikTok, Meta?
No, I think that we should go on TikTok shop or whatever, but we haven't touched that base yet.
I think if you're looking for like the exposure piece, I'd probably look more towards the social selling than Amazon straight away. And also I think retail should be like your long game. Like retail actually can be like so damaging to small businesses because of like the way it all works, right? Like the risk is so high. And actually like, yeah, you get shelf life, but you could get 10 million views on an Instagram video and you might get like 100 people walk past your product in Tesco. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I think everyone thinks like retail is like god tier, but I think it's like a long-term strategy when you just want to like increase your market share. But I don't think it's like reach. I think that's what I've seen. And I think, yeah, obviously it makes sense to be in like the niche running stores or like the focused people to get in front of the right people. But you're probably already getting in front of those people with James's audience anyway. So you don't really want to like be placing yourself in the same places you're already reaching, you know? So I think you've got to like prioritize if you're already getting seen with, like, if you're already mastering, like, the London running community, then it's actually about, like, finding and widening your audience fit. Because what you said about Justin's was really interesting because they never went after... They basically expanded their market opportunity by going into sachets, which is what you would be doing. But I would be cautious if that's the route you want to go down eventually, that you just want to be, like, a consumer brand, a lifestyle brand, to be niching yourself into running now if that's not the direction you want to go in. Because once you're known as a running brand, it's very hard to like become a lifestyle brand because people don't see themselves as that. Amazing. Well, it all sounds super interesting. I have never been so aware of the weather than when building a house. Like, I can tell you every single day the percentage and chance of rain. And today, 100% chance of rain, which means 0% chance of bricklaying. Happy Tuesday. I'll show you where the house is up to though. The loft looks good. This downstairs bit, we were hoping for a bit more this week, but... So this is the loft, which is actually all plastered now. This looks a lot different to the downstairs, and this is where my office is going to be, which is crazy. I can't wait for this to be the before and to have afters ready. So this looks more like a house. This is going to be my office, which I'm very excited about. And then this up here is going to be the shower room with the gorgeous big Velux, and this is the guest bedroom. Again with Velux, we're plastered up here. Windows are going in next week. This floor we can move into. The roof is being tested today for leaks because it is pissing it down. This is like the other main thing going on in my life, but we've got a meeting with the builder now. We should be here any second, so we're going to run through all the updates and everything we need to get ready. I think we need to order the bathrooms now. So we're at that stage, which is very exciting. But the radiator, probably the second most exciting room in the house. My dressing room / ensuite, which is having more thought put into than most things I've ever done. So this is our bedroom that we're in right now, and then you'll walk through this archway. This is going to be my walk-in dressing room, believe it or not. And then you'll walk through to our ensuite, which is here. And we'll have the double vanity along here. Big walk-in shower here. Bathroom here. Toilet here. I'm showing you all this because one day I'll be able to flash forward and show you before and after. It's pouring with rain outside. Like, if you squeeze this now, water. I just spent an hour and a half with a builder, which was a long time, but it was actually really critical and really needed. There's a lot of like critical steps that need to happen in the next few weeks, so really glad we actually got that time in with him together, which is quite rare. Oh god, there's a lot to do. Between that, we're also doing wedding venue viewings, obviously also starting my business, also like I've got a call for community service now, and Launchpad is just taking off to a new dimension. There's a lot going on, so we need to bring it back to focus, the word of the year. I'm going to talk to you about that. I had a call for Launchpad. We had a really, really great call at 9 a.m. this morning. Also had some really great emails back from some brand partnerships I approached. Outbound, which is very different for me. I feel like the selling from Launchpad, where I've started having to like sell a course, is very new for me, but it's just like building this muscle, and sales is one of the most important skills you can build. And so I outbounded very specifically a few of the brands we've shortlisted, or companies that I've shortlisted for who I want to get supplies from for our bathrooms, for other things. And I've just said, like, how do you work with creators? Like, do you want to come and shoot in my home? Like, rather than just outwardly offering deliverables, I've just said, like, how can we make this work both sides? Is there any sort of creator compensation that we can create where you can take advantage of the before and afters? And had some really good responses, and it feels much more like tailored. And I never do outbound, but outbound is the shift that we're sort of switching to a little bit in terms of speaking and other things this year. So I thought at least I'd get started with tiles, you know, build up the rejection therapy, and so far the response has been great. So yeah, outbound. And I say that because on Thursday, my meeting about speaking is all about my outbound strategy in order to speak in the US. So it all comes back down to those goals. But yeah, focus, focus, focus is the word. And I'm actually going to pivot on something I said yesterday. But first I've got to do community service. So we'll speak about that in a sec. This in the cookie dough. It's very, very kindly sent me some good grain. Female founded, vegan, so nutritious, like full of all good things, whole food. They're basically like overnight oats, but different flavours. The brownie batter flavour, the new flavour, is unreal. These are so good for being on the go. This is not an ad, but they were gifted. Okay, time to do community service, which is our weekly briefing call, which then gets turned into our weekly newsletter, breaking down everything you need to know in the industry in terms of brand and creators. Last week's was a 17-minute read. These are like packed with value. It's basically like the transcript from our call. And as always, I will leave the link to subscribe below. It is £5 a month, 4 editions, 15 to 20 minutes length in read, and everything you need to know in one place about all the big stories of the week. Because I think the hardest thing about keeping up is not having a reliable resource or not having one place to go, and that's what we aim to be. We aim to provide you with everything you need to go into your weekly meetings with all of the knowledge on what's happening in this industry every single week. That's why I love community service so much. We're in service to you. Hello, how are you? I know the big one is obviously the Molly May Adidas story. I've been absolutely dying to talk about it online, but I know I wanted to keep everything for this, like all of my thoughts can go into this, and then I'll post about it on LinkedIn to promote this edition tomorrow. Yeah, let's get into it. I'll be honest, I've got a bit of screen fatigue. I've just done community service, had something to eat quickly, and gone into a long strategy call with Mark, Ari, Launchpad, because we've got so many client inquiries right now. We've got people through to contract stage, we're executing, it's all happening, so we just need to really stay in touch about clients, management, where it's heading, dates, coordinating, next steps, bigger programs, piloting, already thinking about like expansion plans, like how we build this out to build something that works for smaller businesses because it's a high ticket item, all of that stuff. So big like business strategy call there, which I'll keep under wraps for now. I just wanted to say for community service this week, my recommendation was this article called 1,000 True Fans. I don't know if you've read it before, but it's a really good essay. It's really old. I think it's from like 2008, but it still stands true today. This is actually an updated version of the one that was written in 2008, but it's 1,000 True Fans by Kevin Kelly. And it basically explains the idea. It's long, but like it's worth reading. Basically saying that like you only ever need 1,000 true fans to build anything great. And it says, to be a successful creator, you don't need millions, you need millions of dollars. You don't need millions of dollars or millions of customers, millions of clients or millions of fans to make a living as a craftsperson, photographer, musician, basically an artist or a creator. You only need 1,000 true fans. And it's basically what I talk about a lot on socials, is that your follower count doesn't need to be massive. You don't need to reach millions on every single Instagram post. You don't need 10,000 likes on a LinkedIn post. What you do need is to be reaching your target audience and going to wherever they are and embedding that relationship. And that's why long form content is so critical, because YouTube or Substack or any podcasting, anything like that, will build true fans much quicker than it will build a viewer. And a viewer is much easier to acquire on a short form platform, which is why short form is so important for like capturing attention, but long form is where true fans are built. And yeah, I'd read this article because it explains it really well, this essay. It's kind of was a 2000s thing. Like the founder of Shopify, founder of Y Combinator, they all wrote essays. I guess it was before we had like personal brand newsletters or LinkedIn posts or social media in that way. Like people would write these just like thought leadership pieces. I've got a lot to do, but I have got a tour of a venue for an engagement party, which is just down the road. It's also a venue that I might partner with for a few bigger projects. So I've been meaning to check out for a while, and then when it came about looking for engagement party venues, they said, well, come down and check out the space. So I'm going to go do that in 45 minutes. We've really got one of those days where everything's happening. And then I do have a Pilates class. And it's kind of one of those days where I'm like, I really need to sit at my laptop and get a million emails out. But I know the quality of my content, my output, and what I create will be so much better if I do that hour of exercise today. So I might be doing some stuff late into the evening, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my Pilates class. If you know, you know. Also, the reason the 1,000 True Fans thing is something I wanted to talk about is because it really resonates with the Instagram post which I'm posting tonight, which is part of my series called Pass the Mic. Again, not a series, well, I've only posted one from that series so far, but didn't go viral, but really met the right people where they needed to be met. So yeah, something I think about all the time. So we went to see the engagement venue, which was beautiful. We're not thinking of doing our engagement party now till May. Initially we were thinking about doing it in February, but with the house and everything's going on, we're like, let's just focus on that and then we'll be able to actually enjoy something. But the events team was so gorgeous, and it's actually part of a members club as well, which was really interesting. So they said I could come in and try that out. And it's like, kind of wish I'd known about it when I left my job, because it's been open since June and it's like a 5-minute walk from me. And it's beautiful and it's like co-working. So anyway, I'm not going to talk to you for long walking. 1, because it's pissing it down with rain. 2, I've got to get a march on to get to Pilates now. And 3, because I read your comments. And someone said when I film when I'm walking, it's like watching a giraffe trot along. And I have watched that back and I do know what you mean. I think it's because I go like this with my camera. I don't know, but I do know what you mean. I guess the thing I want to talk about, if you'll allow the giraffeness for like 4 minutes, is this idea of pivoting. Because not pivoting in business necessarily, because like I'm only at the stage of starting, I'm not pivoting yet, but pivoting can happen at any time. You don't have to be years in, you can be weeks in and decide actually the market fit isn't here, I'm going to pivot. And actually I was inspired because there was a founder I started following on LinkedIn, really young female founder who had started a cottage cheese brand, because cottage cheese is absolutely blowing up. And it was all I saw before Christmas. I'd seen she started getting it into like influencers' hands. I thought it was a really cool idea. It was called Curdy. And then Last week I saw she posted on LinkedIn saying, I've made the like really tough decision to not pursue Kurdi, even though she'd only just started going into manufacturing. She basically realised that it was a bit of a dead end in terms of margins, and the shelf life, because it's a fresh product, made it really hard for retailers to get on board with. And I just have so much respect, like so much respect for the pivot. And I'm really interested, I'm going to maybe try and connect with her, because having that like business acumen to know not to pursue something even though you've just got started and like publicly it's a bit embarrassing or a bit like humiliating, I think is really cool. So that's why I'm thinking about pivoting. And then yesterday I took all those calls with new people, like introductory calls, and I think I finished and I just thought, so cool to connect with these people, really interesting to hear what they're doing. Is it the best use of my time? Like honestly, I reflected and I thought, I haven't pushed the needle further on my focus at all today. Obviously connecting and having good conversations with people I can like cover up and say is a good use of my time. Like absolutely, of course, like you're always going to learn something and every connection is important, but there's phases where it's more important, right? There are phases when you're in discovery mode, when you're trying to figure it out, when you are trying to find a co-founder, when you're hiring, all of that side of things is really important. But when you're actually in a phase where you need to like get your head down, focus, word of the year, it's actually maybe more harmful than helpful. And I think understanding different phases of growth is so critical. I think so many businesses get stuck in a phase without realising they've got to like pivot and change direction. And I think also sorry, I know I'm moving this so much, hope it's not making everyone too seasick. I also know that today in community service I spoke about Nike pivoting as well, because their most successful shoe this year wasn't actually a sneaker, and they've like pivoted into like mindfulness and mental wellness and wellness in general. And it just shows that like whether you're a startup or a legacy brand, like pivoting to stay ahead and stay relevant is so critical. So yesterday I think I was like, oh, I'll keep taking these calls and you know they always help, whatever. It's like, who am I kidding? The number one thing I need to do right now is focus. So I've actually asked my PA to cancel all new calls, and I think what I need to do right now is only say yes if there's a really strong overlap between what they're creating and what I'm creating, or if they have incredibly helpful skills that would complement what I'm doing but they share the same passion, because otherwise it's simply distracting from my focus, and I can't afford to do that right now. What we did a few weeks ago when I went through my content and how it achieves my goals, my actions every day also obviously achieve my goals or distract from my goals. And when I look at my goals and what I want to achieve this year, expanding my network isn't necessarily one of them. And that's because we go through years of growth, sustain. And I'm going through, I guess, sustain within my network, but growth within my business. So I need to give all of my attention and energy where I can to my business and businesses. So community service, Launchpad, and my vision, mission, passion of supporting female creators and whatever the product that develops from that or service, which I'm kind of figuring out. Me and ChatGPT are spending most evenings figuring out how I phase that so that in 20 years time I am the Y Combinator of female creators. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about pivoting because I think it's underrated, and I actually think it's one of the most important skills I always see in entrepreneurs, is their willingness to detach their ego from the outcome and focus entirely on what the best thing for the business is, which isn't always the thing you set out to do. So I will leave you with that thought about pivoting, whether it's your content, whether it's your product, whether it's your strategy. Is there an area that's holding you back that you should be pivoting in? Food for thought. Let me know if that resonates in the comments. But yeah, I'm going to go do a Pilates strength class, and I think I'm going to go check in on my friend who lives close by. She's going through a little bit of a hard time. Go give her a squeeze and then come back, make dinner. And then I need to show you what we're obsessed with doing in the evenings. Honestly, it's like we're an 80-year-old couple, but we loved it so much for the last few nights. Okay, let's go to my gorgeous Pilates studio and get out of this stinking rain. Either I left the house without my phone, or it's not on me. It's dropped out of my pocket. I feel so naked. Now I won't know if my friend wants me to pop over. So I'm gonna go and do the old fashioned thing and just go and knock on my friend's door and see if she's in. Right, moment of truth. The lights are on. Guys, she's in. She's here. It was worth it. Good morning. We're off to Pilates an hour earlier this morning, so it's like 6:20. Which is a habit I really want to get into actually, but I did go to bed really late, which was a bit silly. I wish I could say I was even going to bed late because I was doing loads of work. I'm obsessed with cryptic crosswords. I think they're my thing that's meant to help me switch off, which it definitely does, but they don't necessarily help me wind down. I think they wire my brain up. Hence the eye patches. We've got quite a busy day today. I've got to go on a bit of a road trip to go to a showroom house stuff, which will be fun, which is why I wanted to get on with this early. And then we've got an afternoon of loads of calls, meetings, and all of that wonderful stuff. Right, let's go into Pilates for real now. Guys, the sun is shining. Not to be dramatic, but when it's rained for like 4 days straight, like torrential rain, I can't tell you what this sunshine does to my soul. I've mentioned it before, but I am so affected. What the hell is that? I am so affected by the weather, and this bright sunshine honestly makes my heart so happy. Okay, we've got half an hour and then we're gonna be at the showroom. That was so crazy to find this place. It's like a little Surrey, well, it's not, it's big, Surrey, like country house. The motorway was like, you're here, and I was just on the motorway. So that was a bit crazy, but we're here, so let's go look at some tiles. It's so beautiful in here. It's like being in someone's house but seeing a million different tiles. And I mean, how are we meant to choose between all of these? To me, they all look so similar. There are so many I like, which is good because that means you can't go too wrong, right? But let me show you, these are the tiles we're gonna have in our hallway, which are the main things I actually came to see. So we're gonna have checkerboard tiles, and I love these. We were at one point looking at more of that colour, but I think we want to stay traditional, and potentially maybe even have this outside. But I think we're gonna do the checkerboard style in this. It's called the Chow. Also, I'm from the Chow fonts. I live next to Chow fonts, so yeah, I think they're beautiful. So yeah, I think that's decision made on the hallway tiles, which means the drive was worth it. We've got samples ordered, got the sale prices, but look how beautiful this place is. No wonder it was so hard to find. It's like the most stunning showroom. Honestly, things like this make a big difference to my purchasing decisions. Okay, I need to go and grab something to eat because I'm starving. Really enjoyed it. I listened to 3 Sammy Cohen podcasts on the way here. Really quick soundbitey episodes decoding Rhodes valuation and why I've bought it, and so much to be said about the marketing ROI of having a creative founder. I'm actually going to write a LinkedIn post about it. And the first one really spoke about owning the 1% audience, like finding your 1% and speaking to them. And that's kind of what I was speaking about yesterday. Like, you really don't need to reach everyone. You truly just need to find your 1%, and your £1,000. It's the same principle. You need to find your 1% and like speak to them. And that's why Meadow Lane has worked so well, because it's so bougie. It's this crazy expensive grocery store in Tribeca in New York, but it speaks to the 1%. It provides a luxury solution, and he's making it work for them. It's not for 99% of people, and that's what you need to be thinking about with your brand. Yes, I'm using this as an excuse just to soak up a bit more vitamin D and stay in the sunlight for a little bit longer. Okay, let's go. I hate myself for the fact that it's Starbucks too, but it was the only place on this journey back that had somewhere I could just stop on the roadside. And do you know what I hate even more? I don't actually hate Starbucks. I hate that there are no healthy options. I literally was there like reading the back of everything. Everything is so ultra processed. Everything has so much stuff added to it. And I was trying to be like, where can I get protein? Like, that was what I wanted. And the only thing they had, which I've never tried before and I'm a bit scared about, it's like egg white things that didn't have too many ingredients in them. I was quite disappointed to try them together. I just didn't want sugar, and even the porridge had like cream in it. I was like, whatever, like at least it's oats and cream and like not too much. I was like, do you have any fruit, seeds, nuts, anything? Honey. That's all you could have. That was the closest I could get. So I've got these weird egg bite things. Kind of smell like an omelette. It tastes like plain food. And when I'm not on a plane, there's no need to be having plain food. This is one of those days where I should have just grabbed a good grain pot. This is literally what they're there for. And if I thought about it, I would have. You know what? They're not actually half bad. I just checked, I haven't checked Instagram all morning. I'm trying to like delay checking social media as long as I possibly can. And I just checked to see that my reel I posted last night, which is my new series Pass the Mic, which is a very intentional series to try and capture basically creators providing education and value. I've just seen that like 3 of my like ideal target audience who are quite big followers have followed me off the back of that reel specifically. And I think it's done like 25k views, so it's not gone viral by any means. This is literally speaking to my point, playing out in practice the real results that I was explaining. And it doesn't matter because 3 of my like desired target audience, as in like female creators who I'd love to support with their build, they're at the right stage, I imagine they've got business intentions, have followed, which means it's captured the right people. And that is all that matters to me. If I measure this on my grid of success, when I look at the goal it's trying to achieve, that has therefore been a successful reel. If you get caught up in the metrics of views and reach and followers, views and reach and likes and things like that, you're misguiding your business goals with the content you're creating. And as you know, we're not just posting content for fun most of the time. We're posting with a business goal and a business outcome in mind. So yeah, I thought I'd share that. 3 ideal people following, 1 DM off a reel that I posted less than 24 hours ago. That's success. I don't even know how many likes it's got. Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. That's why the first thing I always go on when I click on Instagram is never my like count, like never the heart, never the reactions or mentions. It's always my DMs. Always, always, always. The magic happens in the DMs, I'm telling you. Time to drive back to London now. I've got a whole day of work ahead of me. But feeling accomplished, so that's good. Matcha secured. It's a good one, would recommend teas. I think South Ken, West Brompton area. Good mood on the go. We are in a good mood today. That is the morning road trip complete. And now we're going back to the house for meetings. I've actually got a meeting with one of my ex-colleagues today, so that's fun. Hello, we are back in the trusty chair now. What a day it's been. It is now 5 to 2. I just walked back over from new house to this house. Our scaffolding's come down. It was meant to come down last week. Didn't. Delayed things, but they have been and taken it all down, which means we can now see the front of our house, which is so exciting. Right, so I've got back-to-back calls now. And I'm going to apply my filter, my new filter, to make sure that it's a worthwhile call based on the pivot, because there's no point in pivoting and having all these thoughts about like changing my approach and then not applying something. So my filter is, as we discussed, it's either got to be highly relevant for what I'm building or a key contact who I think will be able to help me build in the long term. So this first call is with my ex-colleague who I actually haven't spoken to since he left. He is very much in the creator economy, so tick, and he wants to talk about something that he's thinking about building that thinks would be very relevant to me, knowing what I'm building. So highly relevant, key person in the industry, tick, tick. So then I will take the call. My call after that is a briefing call for a talk I've got coming up, which obviously super relevant. And then straight after that, we've got another client inquiry call for Launchpad. I told you there was a lot of them going on. It's so busy. We've got very limited spaces, so we're gonna have to start disappointing people soon because people are locking in their spots, and we've only got like a limited number of spots for the year. And yeah, I mean, in the best way possible, People are very excited by it. But it does mean like the inquiries will stop soon and we'll start actually delivering the program, which is the bit I'm really excited for, to see the real impact. So yeah, 3 minutes until this call. I just want to jot some thoughts down I had from the car about LinkedIn posts. I feel like, and in the best way possible, I don't feel overwhelmed at all. Slightly overstimulated, but not overwhelmed. But anyway, let's take this call. I'm excited to speak with my ex-colleague. I don't know if he wants me to mention who he is yet. So.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, I left in June, so it definitely feels like it took a minute to figure everything out, I think, to like reset and readjust. Even just like, what do I actually enjoy doing and how do I want to show up and like things like that. I definitely did like some resetting, and then I feel like I've come out the other side now and I feel like I've finally got like so much clarity. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll have so much stuff to send you as well. Nice to meet you. Bye. Okay, call number 1 done. Really interesting to be introduced to their project, and they wanted some feedback and just had a really good catch up with my ex-colleague as well. Very, very much in my world, mainly to do with Launchpad, so that was super interesting. So yeah, my filter worked. That was a good focus session. And I feel energized, which is also really important. Like, see how you feel after doing meetings and calls with people. Do you feel energized or drained? If you feel energized, you're probably means you're very aligned and it's working. It's now 10 to 3 and I've got a briefing call for an event I'm speaking at, which means I need to send Flick my brief for styling. Mental note, remind me. So they've sent through all of the questions. So I'll have a quick look through that. Time for call number 2. Not me thinking the call was at 3 and it was actually 10 minutes ago. Hi. I'm good. I'm so sorry. I thought my call was still at 3 o'clock in my calendar and it hadn't been moved in my phone calendar. I'm so sorry. I'm good. A little bit back to back today, but all good. How about you? I love speaking to people. I always try and stay around for like until the last person and all of that sort of thing. So more than happy to chat with people if timings allow, which I'm sure they will. No, this has been really helpful. Thank you so much. Call number 2 done. That was a really good briefing call. AI has got all the details, so it's going to put it straight into my calendar for that event. And then I think briefing calls for events are always really helpful to do kind of nearer the time. I think sometimes brands want to do them or businesses want to do them really far out. And actually I need it to be in with like a 2-week window, because then it means that I like recall it, remember it, and can focus on it. But I love getting a sense of who's going to be in the room, because it just provides so much context for going in to the event, you know? So yeah, I've got now 10 minutes. I can finish eating my date. Oh no, I don't even have 10 minutes. Do I have 10 minutes? I've got 10 minutes. How sad is that? I can finish eating my date, then do this call, and then I have a lot of urgent emails to respond to. Wedding, tiles, partnership inquiries. Okay, that is 3 out of 3 calls. It's actually now gone dark in here. That's how long I've been sat here for. That was definitely like a more interesting, challenging sales call for Launchpad. Like, everyone we've basically had so far has been so on board. They're like, sign me up, which has been amazing. That one was definitely more of like a sales one, which I really like because it's challenging me to do new things. And as I said, sales is such an important skill. To be able to talk and sell your thing with passion and belief and not get tripped up, I think is really important. But I think it went really well, and I think it could be a really interesting client. So all in all, good roundup of the day. I'm now going to dive into those 37 emails. And then in about an hour, I should have the vlog through to review. So that's kind of what the rest of the day is looking like, if I'm being honest. I've signed up to a talk that Sophie Miller from Pretty Little Marketer, who I'm friends with, Zaria Parvez, who's the head of social at DoorDash, ex Duolingo, big fan, and someone called Jason Keith, who I haven't heard of, are doing a webinar about the science behind creativity. It says, in social media especially, the work is often portrayed as chaotic, intuitive, and largely unserious, a profession powered by vibes rather than discipline. Anyone who's actually done the job knows that this is a narrow and inaccurate slice of reality. In the science behind creativity, we're examining what sits beneath the art of social, the strategic thinking, repeatable process, and deliberate practice that turn ideas into impact. I'm a big believer in learning and listening as much as you talk. So every single day I do some sort of learning or listening. So I might listen to that and go for a walk at 5. So that gives me half an hour to power hour through emails. Let's do that. Okay, I did some emails. Why Why are the lines back? I did some emails and now I'm watching the webinar, but I'm going to go for a walk at the same time, get my steps in, do some learning, do it all at once, and then come back and do some more emails and then make some dinner. Crazy day. A lot of learning today. I feel like I needed this, just like really like boost my mind with all these thoughts and then like sprint, you know? I like doing both. Gonna go listen to this, let you know if I have any thoughts or takeaways. Okay, I got all of my steps in. I think I've done over 11,500 now, which is what I'm aiming for. So that was good. I did listen to the Zoom basically the entire walk. Definitely some insights from it. I think what I will say is I wish people would disagree more. I wish people wouldn't all just say yes, yes, yes on a panel. Or not even disagree, just challenge each other. Or provide different perspectives, you know? I feel like we need a bit more friction. But yeah, obviously we're experts in their field. It's just interesting to hear different takes. And like, I would have challenged some of their views, but maybe that's just a bit too spicy for a webinar. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's good to hear different perspectives and how different people do it. I wish they'd gone like deeper. It was about like the science behind creativity. And I wish they'd gone more deeper into like the processes of like Sophie spoke about how she outputs like must be 5 pieces of content a day cross channel as an individual. Like, what is the process for doing that? And what do you do in a creative slump? Like, I wish they'd gone there, you know, but you always get insights from these sort of things. I think it was kind of running in the background of my head and helping me have ideas about some other things. So yeah, very good. My vlog, I've been given a 15-minute warning that will be uploaded and ready to review, and we need to do quite a quick turnaround on this one. Whoa, that's bright. Because I really want to review it tonight, and she said it's a bit of a hefty one, but she said she loved it, so sharing. I'm a bit scared because it's the one where I share like my vision for like building this Y Combinator for female founders, so female creators. So what I'm going to do with that nervous energy before I watch it, before it's ready to watch, is keep going through all my emails. And I'm just going to do a power hour, and actually you're going to hold me accountable. So editor note, fast forward through this section. I just want to hold myself accountable to not picking up my phone, okay? 3, 2, 1. We truly bashed through. We've got 37 down to 8, which I think is pretty good going. And I've just received the vlog, so that is my timer. That is time's up. So it's time to chop some vegetables, make some dinner, and review the vlog at the same time. Because I don't know if it's good for you, but I'm a habit stacker. I don't know if you've realised or recognised that, or if you do that too. I have to like layer things. Like I could never just cook dinner. Like I have to cook dinner and be watching something or signing something off or consuming something. Or like when I'm on a walk, I have to be listening to a podcast. I am trying, like I think that's why I love my cryptic crosswords in the evening, because I don't habit stack, I just do them. I think it is important to unhabit stack some things, but when it comes to tasks, I like to layer. Just get more done, you know? I'm gonna make some miso aubergine and sign off the vlog. My editor just said, it's a good one, she doesn't always say that. I'm nervous. Hello. I've reviewed my vlog. Dinner is ready in the oven and ready, cleared up. Vlog is really good, I'm really excited. And then I'm drinking one of my living things. I'm obsessed with these. I got gifted a pack and this is my last one, so I'm a bit sad about that. Now I'm just watching, this popped up on my feed and it's a day in the life with the Trip founder. So this is like the Sherlock's. I didn't know they did these. I didn't know, yeah, it just popped up. But she's the Trip founder and I don't actually know much about Trip, but they've been on the Times fastest growing companies in the UK 4 times in a row. And to sustain being the fastest growing, I think in the top 20 for the last 4 years, to keep growing at the fastest rate year on year when obviously your threshold increases is mad. And I don't really know much about them. I don't really know much about the founders, but she's got 2 kids. So I'm like, yeah, I'm here for this. So I'm just watching that, drinking my living things. I'm really excited for this vlog to go out on Friday. My editor's done such a good job. I'm nervous though, putting it out there in the world for like people to reject or be like, no, that's a stupid idea. I mean, it is what it is. It's a byproduct of building in public, but yeah, a bit nervous. I'll be fine. I'm just showing the reality. This is just real. Anyway, it's been a long day. Eat some dinner and I will see you tomorrow in the morning. Bye bye bye. Failures and mistakes, fine, as long as you learn from them. We're allowed to make mistakes, we're allowed to fail. Yesterday's breakfast, fail. Should have prepared. Should have been more prepared. Should have had what I wanted. We learn, we buy a stock of the good grain so that never happens again. This brownie batter flavour is addictive. Vegan, ready to eat, source of fibre, protein, natural plant-based. It just has cashew milk, gluten-free oats, cacao powder, protein, maple syrup, date, flax seeds, coconut yogurt, chia seeds, and that's it. That's it. Not a list of 10 million ingredients. Starbucks, you need to stock these. The good grain. I will do the distribution for you. They are so good. Just back from Pilates. I've got the first, I think for the first time ever, I've got DOMs from Pilates. Like, my glutes and my arms are honestly in agony. I feel like tomorrow I'm going to be walking around like in a lot of pain. So I may take a rest day tomorrow. It's the weights. The addition of weights to Pilates is a complete game changer. This class this morning was honestly so freaking hard. But I've got quite a quick turnaround now. I've got to be actually back where I just came from in an hour, ready for the day. I think it's about 8:30 right now. I'm having my nails done because it's been 5 weeks and I've got meetings today and this is the last day I can push. They don't even look that bad here, but they look like a kid has stuck nails on and they're about to fall off. So I've got to do the things that make me look presentable and make me feel good. So I've got my nails and then I'm going straight into London for meetings. I'm going all over today. By some miracle, I have made it on time, managed to drive back to the house, and then my nail appointment is about a 5-minute walk from here and it's in 5 minutes. So I have no idea how we actually did that because I think I did my makeup in about 6 minutes. Yeah. Proud of myself. Also in the pursuit of trying to do less slick backs because I've definitely damaged my hair from doing so much scraping back with gel. Dry shampoo, giving it a go. I haven't used dry shampoo in years. Really conscious that it's going to be white patches in my hair, all the things you have to deal with. I did decide to fully do my eyebrows today when I had no time, so that was really fun, but just having eyebrows like clean just makes such a difference. I feel like I need to get on top of these things a bit more. Hence, I'm going to get my nails done right now. Right now, we're going short and clean. Okay? We'll do some fancy transition. 3, 2, 1. Look at that smooth transition. Went so short and nude, and I just feel so like clean girl vibes. I can't tell you what this does to my mood. She did such a good job. Magically transported to Soho. Just actually met Austin very quickly to give him the car keys, which has worked really well because I actually have got my timings really spot on today. Well, let's see, we've got a lot of more travelling and meetings and stuff to go, so I don't want to call it too early. But my first meeting that I'm just heading to now is with a speaker strategist / support manager who I am working with non-exclusively this year from one of the biggest talent groups, if not the biggest talent management group in London. This is going to be like our sort of strategy session for helping me fulfill my goals of bigger stages but in front of the right people all over the world. And then we've got to jump on a tube probably and head over to Shoreditch because I'm meeting a brand partner who I'm potentially going to be working on a long-term basis with, which might also be working to fulfill another one of my goals. I've done a bit of prep for this in terms of, well, my peers really helped me. We've looked at sort of all the events this year all over the world and where I want to be, and this is all about starting to get strategic on the outbound because, as I've said probably quite a few times now, basically everything I've done up to press has been inbound, so it's been very reactive. This year is about getting proactive, and working with someone who lives and breathes the space is exactly what I need to do. I'll see you on the other side and I'll fill you in. I did both my meetings, trekked across London in the pouring rain. Both really good meetings, but couldn't really film either of them. But the first one was with potentially who I'm going to be working with for my speaking engagements going forward. She's way more versed in the speaker world than me, so helpful for guidance for next steps. And as I always say, if you want to become the best at what you do, you need to work with experts in the space, and she is truly an expert, so that was good. Then went over to East London for a meeting with someone I know who works at a brand who wants to work with both me and community service, which is very cool. And the way it will be integrating is so beneficial to us that it feels like a match made in heaven. And then I had to head over to my office space to create a concept for another brand partnership, which has just been signed off, which is a really cool one because it just fits into my current format that I'm already creating on Instagram. And that is the benefit, ladies and gentlemen, of building repeatable formats, because you don't have to create new concepts for your ads. You should be looking for ads that naturally integrate into your existing formats and content series. That's the top tier in my opinion. Like, your brand partnership should seamlessly fit into existing content formats that work organically or as paid. But I just wanted to say the reason I've come on here is because it's been pissing it down with rain today. I've permanently had this umbrella up. It's inconvenient, it's annoying, it's wet. I'm a bit flustered when you're holding everything and you're walking through the rain, whatever. I would swap that any day for a day of Zoom calls. The difference of an in-person meeting, the connection, the rapport, the shared experience, but also just like the recall I have from an in-person meeting, I would say it goes far as saying it's like 10 times a Zoom. And like, don't get me wrong, I know a Zoom is convenient. If you're on the other side of the world, you need to hop on a quick meeting, like a Zoom is great. But it doesn't replace initial meetings. I think should be in person. And I think even if they're on the other side of the world, if you're working with someone long term, I don't know how it would work, but you know, you should try and meet up if you're in the same place ever. I just think it builds a whole different level of connection, and I just feel fueled after the meetings as opposed to drained. And I know that's my usual signal to say, you need to do more of this. I'm just walking for dinner now. We're actually going out for 2 of my best friend's birthdays that are in January. Probably. But because one of my friends is currently doing a load of intolerance testing, basically the only place we can go out for dinner is Pizza Express, which is hilarious because we were all like, yeah, we love Pizza Express, let's go for it. But I haven't been here in years, so of all the places to go in London, it is of course 6:30 p.m. dinner, because on a Thursday I still want to be in bed at a decent hour, and I obviously get my vlogs live on Fridays, so pretty sacred times. Wow, that's a nice scales. It's absolutely massive. It looks like an old fire station. You want to see? Wow, look at that reveal with the bus as well. Gorgeous, isn't it? The other thing I was going to say is this vlog I'm posting tomorrow, I think it's the first vlog that I've ever posted where I'm got no makeup on. Like, there's not a single clip where I'm wearing makeup. And if you told me I was going to post myself makeupless on the internet to potentially thousands of people, even 6 months ago, I would have been like, absolutely not. And it's really, really interesting. It made me want to write a LinkedIn post about it, which I then have written ready for tomorrow, because I think there's this idea that as a female, we have to like perform this image of success. And don't get me wrong, I have a stylist. I like to look good. I dress up for meetings and events. I want to come across as the person I'm like portraying myself as, like this credible, successful person. But the reality is, most of the time, the messy middle, you know, I'm in that fleece. You know better than anyone, I live in that fleece and leggings most of the time. And I think it's just reflective of the stage or the season of business I'm in. It would be wasted energy every day for me, personally, to be putting on makeup or doing anything like that, because I need to have all my focus going into the work that I'm building. And there's this extra pressure women face, and I know this isn't going to go down well, I'm sure, for some people, where there's an expectation to look the part while you're becoming the part. Does that make sense? I'm still refining the LinkedIn post, as you can tell. This is me sort of refining it in real time. But it's interesting, because I would never show up on LinkedIn, for example, looking that scruffy, because I'm trying to portray a certain image. But on YouTube, as you guys know, I'm showing the messy middle, I'm building, it's the reality. So I do show up like that. I think it was just a stark contrast of the whole episode not having a single moment of glam, because I'm truly in like hibernation focus mode in that one episode. I'll link it down here. I felt like I was moving really like with loads of momentum towards my goals, loads of inbound was coming in, but like I'm just hunkered down in my fleece and leggings. I just think it's really interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Also, like, men, feel free to weigh in as well. Like, you know, I just posted, I'm really annoyed about this actually. I read a LinkedIn post and I didn't really agree with it. To my point the other day, I want to be involved in challenging conversations. So I just added a comment and it already had like 200 likes, quite a few comments, like loads of discourse. And I just added a comment. They said, but isn't that the whole point? It was discussing Molly May's Adidas campaign and he was basically being like, oh my God, this is the driest asset I've ever seen. And I was like, but it works perfectly for her target audience, so that's all that matters. Like, not every asset needs to be award winning, it just needs to feed your target audience, right? And I saw it was getting quite a few likes, and then I went away and came back, clicked back to be like, oh, I wonder if he's responded. He's deleted the post. And I'm really annoyed about it because it wasn't a mean comment, it was just like a discussion comment or like a slight challenge on perspective. And like, can't we do that anymore? You know, this was exactly what I said yesterday. I can't believe he's deleted it. Maybe coming from me, it doesn't look good, but it was just like it was just a debate. He had loads of people agreeing with him in the comments. And that was okay, you know? Anyway, let's go have a Pizza Express and chill out on all these thoughts. I need to go speak with some people about stuff that's not brand and marketing. Hello, I've not vlogged today. Mainly because I've got a full day of working tomorrow. Well, not a full day, but I'm going to an event tomorrow morning. And I thought, well, I'd love to take you to that, if that's okay. And then talk about a few things to wrap up the episode. In tomorrow's vlog, tomorrow's day, because I've been told I film too much and my editor cuts out about 2/3 of what I film anyway. So I thought there's no point in adding just like extra noise today for the sake of it, when tomorrow will be a way more interesting day to film. But tonight I am going out to celebrate my ex-colleague's birthday. We're going out to dinner to somewhere I've wanted to go for ages. So I thought I would just like show you briefly, take you along for that. Just gone for the Paloma shirt, which I'm obsessed with. I love the cuff, you know I love a good cuff. I don't know whether to like tuck in, but these jeans are really high. So I thought more like you could just see the belt like this. I'm gonna wear brown suede heels, brown suede coat because it's not raining tonight. Got all my jewels on with, I actually blow dried my hair, which I've only done because I've invested in a really good heat spray, because you know I'm trying to not do too much damage to my hair at the moment. So yeah, I feel fresh and put together, which is a nice feeling because I don't dress up that much anymore, so this is as good as it kind of gets. But yeah, thought I'd take you along to the dinner because it's a really cool, nice spot. I'm out 3 nights in a row this week. Last night, tonight, and tomorrow night, which for me is huge, but it is a 6:30 dinner reservation because you know I'm obsessed. So yeah, come to dinner in Mayfair with me and Grace Miller, who some of you may already know. She's the head of experimentation and failure at Diary of a CEO, and she's one of the best humans in the world. And I get to give her that lovely gift that I showed you at the start of the week. And all these prezzies. She's the best gift giver in the entire world. So I've done my best. It's nothing on her, but I'm excited nonetheless. Okay, let's go for dinner. Okay, let's go. Well, that aged really well because guess who didn't whip out her vlog camera once at dinner last night. It was a really gorgeous meal. So lovely to be with Grace. She's like the sweetest, most caring, most ambitious person I know, and I'm so excited for everything in her future and to be able to celebrate her birthday because she celebrates everyone so much. It's just the best. And having time to like curate and find gifts for someone that you love is, I just love gift giving. So I love card writing and I love gift giving. But yeah, 74 Duke, the cookies, the people watching of like influencers taking photos, also incredible. Would recommend just for that. Today I actually wake up really early, so I got a load of emails done and stuff for the house mostly, in lots of conversations with all different suppliers about all different things, like constant back and forth. So that's a lot of fun. It actually is a lot of fun, so no complaints. And now I've got ready and hopped into town because I'm going to my friend's rebrand event. But what I realised is this week, starting today and into the next week, I've got 4 brand events, I think, 3 or 4. And I thought what I'd do is I make next week's episode a bumper special on what makes a great brand activation and a great brand event, because a lot of you are really keen to learn about brand world building, and brand events play such a big role in that. They're such a huge expense for businesses and so many get it wrong. I've touched on it before, but I think that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to take you to all of the events. Next week's episode, I'm going to take you to all the events. I'm going to ask the people there what they think makes a great brand event, and we'll just make it a real like brand event special. Also, what I'll say is I'm so grateful for everyone who has watched yesterday's vlog, where I shared my like big vision, mission, idea for supporting female creators, and just the amount of people who just replied in support, like my friends, industry friends, people I've met through building this, just screenshotting, messaging and being like, I'm so excited for you. And having people around you who want the best for you genuinely is like the coolest feeling in the entire world. Obviously you kind of hope that's your friends, but just people who you've like met along the way who genuinely want the best for you, no other motivation, no alter motivation, is like the best feeling in the world. And I want to keep doing that for other people. It's why I go to my friends' events, it's why I show up, it's why I comment on their posts, because I genuinely want them to win. Like, of course I do. Why wouldn't I, you know? And I just think if you put more of that energy out into the world, you get more of the good energy back. So I just want to say thank you for that. And I know a lot of comments have said that they loved the whiteboard episode, and I totally get it. Of course, it's super actionable. So for the people who just want to learn, and the reason people love it so much is most people charge for that sort of thing, right? Most people put that behind a paywall, a course, a subscription, because I am giving away like a lot of my brain, and I have to be really smart and careful that I'm not giving away my entire brain for free, otherwise I end up with no business model. So I'm just sort of figuring out how I can integrate more of that into each week. But I also do want this to be a documenting of the journey. Like, I want this to be accessible for female founders to look at and go, I can build because Grace is building. So yes, I want it to be super valuable and takeaway and action driven, but I am showing the real life build. Like, that is the purpose of this channel, you know? So I'm just trying to find and navigate that balance a little bit. But I can't ignore that obviously everyone's like, this was the best episode ever. And it's where I basically just do a lesson. I guess there is a world where I create a course like that and like create that separately, knowing there's such demand for it. That's what most people would do at this stage. But I don't know, we're still figuring it all out. But I'm gonna end and wrap this week's vlog here. I know there's so much still spilling over that I want to talk about, but it will just spill into next episode and next episode and next episode. I still want to run you through how we're growing community service on newsletter and the big goals for that next year. Obviously next week's going to be a bumper special on brand events, and then there needs to be a big special on brand world building, because you guys have all said that's literally, please do that. So maybe the following week that's what we'll do. So we're talking about growing and scaling communities, we're talking about brand activations, we're talking about brand world building over the next few weeks. How does that sound? Obviously also going to show you building the house, and I actually updated my Instagram bio to be more representative of that. So it says like building in the creator economy brackets also building a house, because I don't think you can underestimate like how much time that is actually taking up right now, and how much of a part it's going to play in my business. Like, it's going to be where I film my content, so I'm thinking about it from that perspective. It's going to be where I am most of the time. It's where I'm building from, you know? It's going to be my base. So it really is a big part of what I'm creating. But yeah, feeling absolutely pumped, excited by the messages I've received of support and engagement and interest to support with building this next big adventure. This week has been a big week of like brand partnerships, meetings, launchpad, socializing, and I'm house, wedding, and I just feel like I'm not drowning. I just feel like I'm loving it. Like, I feel alive. I feel so alive, and I'm so grateful, so grateful that you're here. Who knows, we may have hit 10k by the time you watch this. That'd be so crazy. Should I give you a live count update? We are currently 9,771. Can you see that? It's getting close, baby. You know we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna do something fun. Thank you so much for being here as always. I love you all so much, and I feel so excited for what's to come. If you haven't already, please do hit subscribe, because it just helps me understand what more of the stuff you want, what more of the stuff you don't want, who you are, how we get to know each other, and how we build this thing together. I'm going to take over the world of female creator entrepreneurship one Friday vlog at a time. I'll see you next week. Bye.